everyone, and welcome to my Java programming tutorial. In this video, we will talk about static methods in Java. So before jumping on to static methods, let's take a look at why we need it and how it all got started. Okay, so we have algorithms. Algorithms are step-by-step procedure of solving a problem. So when you get a task, you don't directly jump onto coding. You start with algorithms, means you are starting just like writing a diary. So you write some steps like how you will get started with that problem and how you will solve it. So here we have a couple of examples. So you can relate algorithms example, which is this one, with anything, making a cup of tea, making a cup of coffee, like how you will start. And with algorithms, you have to mention each and every step, like all the basic steps as well. As you can see, the example we have taken so far is bake sugar cookies. So when you are baking sugar cookies, what are the steps you need to follow? So here are some list of steps which are listed. Mix the dry ingredients, cream the butter and sugar, beat in the eggs, stir in the dry ingredients, like each and every step what you have to do, so that when another person is reading your step, he or she can easily follow your instructions and make the cookies. Okay, so this is what algorithms is. Now, issue with algorithm is that there are so many steps, like you have to write each and every step. As you can see, many tiny steps, tough to remember, and it's not organized as well. Like it's as you can see, it's too much to read. And as a programmer, like now you have to think as a programmer point of view, which things are having some redundancy, or which are the things you need to get rid of. So as you can see, when you have to bake like the second batch, here you can see, so there is some redundancy in the lines that you have to set the timer again, place the second batch of cookies, and then allow the cookies to bake. So these are some repeating steps. As you can see, they are already mentioned before this as well. So we have structure algorithm. So what we did with structure algorithm is we divided the step with a heading. So we have make 1, 2, and 3, as you can see, some blocks which you can relate with some of the static methods. Like there will be some piece of instructions or related instructions in one place. So make the cookies better is in one section. Then what you did, you said bake the cookies will be in one section, and add frosting and sprinkle is in one section. So now let's take a look. Still, when you have to bake the cookies, over here you have some repeated tasks, like it's the first batch, then you have the second batch. So a well-structured algorithm can describe repeated tasks with less redundancy. As you can see right now, it looks more neat. Now, this is the code what you have so far as a programmer when you are just following instructions from an algorithm where you have all the steps written. Now you have to put them into coding. This is what you get. So you have so many system.out or println statements, and this is so much to read, and it looks a lot of messy. When you become a good programmer, like what you have to do is make your main method. As you can see, everything is inside of the main method. You have to make your main method clean. How you will make it clean? By removing everything. So we will remove all the system.out or print statement, and we will write static methods. So what static method does, they are declared outside of main but inside of class, and when you have to use it, you just make a method call. So there are some rules which you need to follow when you are writing a static method. Let's take a look. What static methods are. There are like a book-wise, you can say definitions are written over here. Procedural decomposition, dividing a problem into methods. They will make your life much easier. Trust me, they're gonna be very cool. Write a static method is like adding a new command to Java. So let's take a look. The rules we have to follow for writing a static method is you have to declare it first, and you have to make sure that the declaration part is outside of your main method but inside of your class. And then what you do is you can make a call of that method as many times as you want inside your main method. You can also make a call inside the method, like method within a method. That also works. We will say it later how. So let's take a look. Right now, this is the same code. There is nothing new There is no static method right now. In front of you, what we have is, it's like couple of spaces and comments, and it looks like more neat as compared to our previous thing where we don't have any instructions, no comments, no spaces. Okay, so this is the red highlighted part where we have to remove or work for the static method. Actually, we will be working the static method with the whole code, but this is the point where we have the urge of using that static method, because here we have the redundancy or redundant lines. So let's take a look. We declare a method outside of main, inside of class. Again, I'm repeating because many students make mistake, and just because of one curly brace where you have to put that before your static method, it will just mess up your code. You will have like 13 or 14 lines of code with errors. Okay, so what we have, declaration. You use the public keyword, then you use the static keyword as we are writing a static method, and then we will write void. It means, void means you're not returning anything. Usually it doesn't mean it always be void. You only use void when you are not returning anything. Otherwise, maybe you are returning an integer, double, float, boolean, or double, character, string. You can return anything. If your code is not returning, it means your code is printing inside of your static method. Then you will use void when your code is not returning anything. Then you give a name to your static method. That name can be anything according to your static method. Again, according to your code. For example, if I'm writing a static method to add two numbers, I won't give a name as subtraction to my static method, right? So the name will be addition or add, something like this. And then you start open close parentheses. At this point, we are not passing anything from, or we are not accepting anything from main method according to your code, because it's like simple. Otherwise, inside of these parentheses, we accept number of parameters. We accept the values from user, just like add method. So when I am writing an add method, I want at least two values, two integers, two doubles, depending on my static method. For example, my static method is asking for two integers. So over here, I will ask for two integer values from user that give me two values to add. Otherwise, I will be just adding two numbers or random numbers or the same numbers again and again. We will discuss these things in my next video in detail. Okay, so this is very simple static method in which we are not returning anything and we are not also accepting anything, and just the basic syntax. And starting curly braces and ending curly braces are important, and whatever you write inside is part of your static method. So this is a very basic example. You're just printing warning. So as you can see, the return type is void. We are not returning and we are not accepting. So we are just writing two simple basic system.out.println statements, which are printing this product causes cancer in lab, rats, and human. You can write as many statements you want inside of your static method. There is no limit. You can write expressions, you can write loops, you can write if and else conditions, depending on your static method and depending on your code. So let's take a look how we can improve our previous version, the thing we are working on with the help of static method. This is a calling of a method is just you write the method name, open close parentheses, and semicolon inside of your main method. We will do it right now on Eclipse so that you can see how those static method works. Okay, so let's skip the other examples and directly jump onto our cookie program and see how we have improved our code. As you can see, this is your main method, public static void main, string argument, and inside of your main, now your main method is totally clean. It's just method calling. So you're just making a method call inside of your main. And what we did is we make the cake better. Remember this part in your structure algorithm? What we did, public static void, and we made a method name make better. And what it does is all the 3 or 4 lines are written over here, and then starting curly braces, ending curly braces. We have another static method, public static void bake, and all the baking instructions are over here written, like set the oven temperature, set the timer, place the cookies, that's it. If you remember, the issue we had with this algorithm was we have second batch of cookies, and there were like 3 or 4 lines in repeating order. Now, if you take a look there, we don't have those lines. So this is where we have our static method came into use, and we have removed the duplicate part, and we don't have to write those lines again. And this is the last part, public static void decorate, and these are the two lines. Now let's take a look how this thing works. Make better whenever your compiler only goes into your main method. Your compiler will not go in your static method until and unless you have not make a call inside your main. So compiler goes over here, it checks the class name, no error, it checks your main method, and then it start running your code. And how it start running your code? The first line is make better. Compiler, from this point of view, it will go to your first static method and print all the lines. After printing all the lines, it comes back to your main method and read the second line, which is bake. After reading the second line bake, compiler knows that, oh, this is a method call. I need to look for a method bake in this whole class. So it goes to it starts looking where is this bake method, and it goes over here and print all the lines in your bake. And then after printing all the lines, it comes back to the main method. And then as you can see, there is another method called bake. You don't have to write those bake lines again. You just make another method call. That's it. And after reading this another bake line, compiler goes back to your bake method and print all the lines again. And the last but not the least, it reads the last line, decorate, and it prints the last static method. If you have more static method in the same code, but you have not make a call in your main method, no matter, compiler will not give you any error, but it will not run. Okay, so this is the purpose and advantage of using static method. Let's take a look another example which we will do on Eclipse, and how we will that static method will help us a lot to improve that code. Okay, so let's take a look what we have. These are some when to use methods and what are the rules. So you cannot use static methods just for one system.out.println statement, because that there is no point of using static method, because you are writing 3 lines of code, which is your method header, starting curly braces, ending curly braces, and then there is one more method call which you will make just because of one system.out.println statement. So you don't have to write static method for one line. You only write static methods for something that is repeating again and again. So you put that couple of lines into a static method and you just make a call again and again. Or maybe there are some expression which will be used again and again. So that's where you also put static method and do all the calculation again and again with the help of that static method. Okay, so let's take a look. Draw complex figures with static methods. These are the figures you need to draw. So let's take a look. What will be your first approach of if I ask you to print all these figures, all these shapes into coding? So what will be your first approach? Every student first approach will be this one. So let's take a look. I am a lazy student, so I will copy and paste into my Eclipse and see what we have. So let me create a class approach of every student, how to print this as an output or how to print all the shape. Let me run and see what we have as an output so that we can see. So this is my output. All the shapes are printed correctly. So, but my code looks really messy and it's not a very good approach as a student. So what I will do is, first of all, this is my main method. We will write static method, and static method goes outside of main. So this is where my main ends. First of all, when you have to identify where you need a static method is, if you notice, we have duplicate part. This is a duplicate. This top part is same. This is same, and this is same, right? So these 3 lines are same in that whole code, right? So instead of writing system.out.print statement again and again to print those lines, I can just write all those lines in one static method and give it a name. So let's give it a name as top, and starting, opening, close, and then starting curly braces, ending curly braces. And what I will do is I will copy and paste. So let's see from where I have to copy and paste. I think I have to copy and paste from this part, and Control X, and I will say Control V, and this is my top. So what I can do is instead of, so from here I have removed, so I will just make a call top over here like this. And again from here, I think this is the same top, so it's the same top, and I will just make a method call. As you can see, I have removed like 3 to 4 lines and replace it just with one line, which is top. And as you can, do you see more of these stuff? So I think here I have more, it's the same top, right? So just make a method call as top and semicolon. Okay, so as you can see, now it's my code. My code looks more clear and I can see more of the duplicate part. Here is the bottom part. So this looks the same, right? And I think I can just copy Control X, and I will write another static method. So this is where my static method ends. So enter, and another static method, it will be public static void and bottom, opening close parentheses, starting curly braces, ending curly braces, and I will paste those lines. So this is bottom. So let's see where I have removed that part. It was removed here somewhere, right? Okay, let's say I have to remove this part. Bottom, opening close parentheses, semicolon, and then what we have, this is the bottom, same bottom, right? Say bottom, close parentheses, and semicolon. As you can see, my main method is reduce. It's just like cleaning up all the system.outer println statements, and everything is look more organized. Like, and one more thing, what we have is we also have this line. So I can just Control C, public static void line, open close parentheses, and Control V. And what I will do is I will call the line method. So I will remove this, as this is more easy, and I will remove, I have line over here. So I can remove this part as well, open close parentheses, line. And then the last but not least, I have a stop symbol. But let's run our code and see what we have. Is our code match with the same output we have before? Okay, so let's take a look. So it was bottom, we have the stop sign, right, and we have egg. So I think I placed the method call in the right order. So as you can see, how my main method is clean and everything is organized. So if I want to make more of the same shapes or more of the same, more lines, or I need more stop symbols, I just have to make method calls like this. It looks more clean and more neat. To our slides and see what we have so far. Okay, so this was the code, the student's first approach. If you want to draw something like Space Needle, rocket ship, which are the basic examples you will see on Practice It website. So what you can do is just start with this part. Start with writing system.out.println statements, run your code. If you have the correct image, then start identifying the duplicate part, remove it, replace it with static methods, and then see how much static methods you can add, or how much you can remove the redundancy in your code. So let's take a look. The final version, this is the strategy 2 was, I think this is the final third version. This is the second version where you have separated all the shapes into static method like this. And the third version is like this. You're making a call method within the method, and then like this. Whatever approach works for you, whatever you think is more convenient as compared to writing the first version of the code, you can go for it. Okay, so try to make it more neat. Maybe you can make some changes in the coding, which I have done as well. So just try to use static methods and remove redundancy. That's it for this video, and that's it for the static method. There will be one more video in which we will talk about the return type and parameters. You can see in my channel, on my channel, and that's it. Thank you. Bye-bye.